This is TaskSpoon, the series where I aim to complete the collection log one random task at a time. After nearly 2 years and over 4,000 hours of gameplay, I'm finally ready to take on RuneScape's endgame as I venture into the elite tier. Welcome to Season 4 of TaskSpoon. Hello everybody and welcome to episode 159 of the TaskSpoon series. In the last video, we did a bunch of things, did some Araxor, I got absolutely spooned at the worms, and we ended the video by rolling a task to get a Forestry unique, of which I still have 3 available, all 3 of the RNG ones from the events, being the Fox Whistle, the Golden Pheasant Egg, and the Petal Garland. And I spent about 25 hours doing Forestry here, doing this hopping method at one single tree, and I think I'm at around 2.5 to 3 times the drop rate to see any single one of the items, which is a little demoralizing. But we are going to continue this in this video, as well as there was a new update which introduced a new quest that I will go and do at some point, either after I get a new item or when I want to take a break. So yeah, let's go get started. For anyone that may have missed the last episode, I'm going to quickly go over what I've been doing for my solo forestry method for the optimal amount of events per hour. The way the forestry events work is anytime a tree is cut down, there's a random chance for a forestry event to spawn on that tree, and the chance is increased based on the tier of the tree, going all the way up to magic as the highest tier, because redwood trees can't spawn forestry events. What I'm doing right now is I'm prepping each of the trees from each of the worlds that I hopped through. By starting to cut the tree down and then hopping worlds, the game still recognizes your character as in the world chopping the tree, and you'll notice this little timer pops up, and eventually will start to tick down if I sit here long enough. That timer is how long until the tree despawns, and by hopping in the middle of cutting it, that timer continues to tick down even though I'm not still on the world. The way that woodcutting works is a tree can't actually despawn unless somebody gets a log from the tree. So it's actually prepping all of the trees to be ready to be cut down, so they'll all be at 0 seconds until they're ready, and then the next time someone cuts a log successfully from the tree, it'll despawn, which hopefully will happen right now. Okay, well that took a little longer than expected, but you'll notice, as soon as I actually got a log from the tree, it instantly despawned. That's because technically the timer was at 0 and ready to go, and then every time a tree is cut down, then it has a chance to spawn a forestry event. So I'm going to end up hopping worlds. The next world, like I said, I've already prepped, so the first log I cut should have this tree despawn and maybe actually give me a forestry event this time. Now, this is already a pretty fast method to get forestry events, but I can make it even faster, which I'm doing off screen right now. By using my main account to prep the trees for this account, I don't actually have to go through the process of hopping through each world and then cutting down the tree. I have my main account sort of following behind this account, prepping all the worlds that I've just cleared. So this account's job is just to hop through worlds, cut the tree once, and hope for the forestry events. Now, this is actually a really good method for a couple of things. For starters, what I'm doing, where all I want is the 3 events that have a chance to give me the items that I need, which are the poachers, the pheasant eggs, and the dryad. Those are the 3 events that I need. But even if you're just trying to go after like anima-infused bark or something, you can choose the events that you actually want to do, and you can choose the events that either give lots of bark, lots of XP, or like I'm doing, collection log slots. Now, the downside of this is, with the events that I'm choosing to do, the XP per hour is really bad. The egg event, the pheasant event, is actually pretty good for XP per hour, but all the other ones are pretty bad. And the actual woodcutting itself, because I'm just getting 1 log every so often, is also pretty bad. So my XP per hour is really low. But luckily for me, I'm already 99, because I got it last episode. So the XP actually doesn't really matter anymore. The other downside of this, at least for me, is it's not very AFK, like at all. Usually forestry and woodcutting in general, I like the skill because it's AFK, but with this, playing on 2 accounts, constantly monitoring 2 different worlds, hopping through, like, it's just not very fun. And I'm already pretty dry, which I'll talk about in a sec here. But yeah, this is just not very AFK, which is my favorite part of woodcutting. So yeah, I don't really enjoy this too much. Now, the 3 different events that I'm doing all have different drop rates for their respective items, and some of them increase with woodcutting level, so being 99 is actually useful in that regard, but I am pretty dry. It's kind of hard to calculate without knowing the exact number, but I'm definitely approaching the drop rate on the Petal Garland and the Fox Whistle, and I'm definitely significantly over the drop rate on the Pheasant Egg event. So unfortunately, that means that combining all 3 of them, because they all count for my task, I'm sort of like almost 3 times the drop rate to see any individual item, which makes this process even more painful, because I know that I definitely should have been done by now, but there isn't really anything I could do about it other than just continuing, so that's what I'm going to do. If this is something that you want to do yourself, there's a couple of tips I have. For starters, using the plugin that lets you set a keyboard shortcut to hop worlds. I use Control, Shift, and then left or right to go up and down worlds. Makes the hopping process a lot easier. I just Control, Shift, left through all the worlds that I have it set to, and I have a sort of set range of worlds that I go through, which I have set as my 2 favorites here, being 496 to 428, and I only go through the North America, West, and East worlds. So yeah, that would be my biggest tip, is use your keyboard shortcuts, because otherwise this would be very, very annoying and hard to keep track of all the worlds. Super nice, I have this little thing on my screen that tells me the world that I'm in, so anytime that's at 428, I just go back and I hop up to 496 again. If you're doing this yourself on one account, as you can see here, the timer for a magic tree is around 4 minutes, so what you should do is just hop through worlds for 4 minutes. However many worlds you go through, that should be your range, and then after the 4 minutes, hop back to your first world and go back and clear them. If you have a second account like me, technically you don't need to limit yourself to any range of worlds. As long as you have your other account following behind, you could technically go through every single world and just have all of them prepped. Although I don't really like to do that just because it's more work. The only time that the trees actually get reset is if someone chops them down, or if there's server maintenance. So finding a tree in the middle of nowhere that no one goes to is actually really important. Which is why I'm happy that I found this tree here in Korend. No one has ever cut this tree down in their life, because why would they? It's in the most random spot. So oftentimes, oh, that's interesting. Oftentimes I'll end up going to bed and waking up the next morning, and the trees are still prepped from the evening prior, which is super nice, because then it takes away that stage of sort of setting up the forestry stuff. So my other tip would be find a tree that nobody uses. This is a good one. Although if you guys all start using it, then people will be using it. So maybe find your own tree. Anyways, that is enough yapping from me. I'm gonna go put on a movie and cut some trees. Let's go! There it is, Fox Whistle acquired. Honestly, probably the ideal item for me to get, because I hate the Poacher event compared to the Dryad and the Pheasant one, so at least now, next time, I can just do those 2. And it didn't take too long today, only a few hours. Honestly, probably could have included it in the last episode, but oh well. Unfortunately, this is yet another pet transmog item for a pet that I don't have, so maybe one day we'll end up with the beaver, but probably not anytime soon, because the only woodcutting I'm going to be doing is for these forestry tasks, so -1 bank space, but oh well. Now, the only way to make this any better is to finish it off with an evil chicken piece from the 1 god egg that I got. Would have been cool, though. So I guess that means I can continue with my plan and go and do the new quest, and with completion of the new quest, you unlock some new enemies, some upgraded armored zombies that drop both the old broken zombie axe as well as a new broken zombie helmet, which I'm gonna need to get anyway. And the broken zombie helmet is actually has some uses for me. It's gonna be my best in slot crush helmet, which surprisingly does have some uses, kind of like the dwarven helmet before it. So let's go do the new quest. Unfortunately for me, this quest just came out today, and so the quest helper is not updated, so I actually have to like go and look up a guide and read things and whatnot, which that's my weakness in this game, reading, so hopefully I can do this and it doesn't take too long. You ever think about the fact that there's a bunch of sewer systems in the world of RuneScape, but there aren't any toilets? Okay, well there's like one toilet, but it's like an outhouse. Well, that was an interesting little fight. Aside from when I got hit by the axe, wasn't too difficult, kind of unique, I like it. And this should be the end of the quest. Cool. 40,000 agility XP for that, let's go. Now that I've completed the quest, I should have access to the stronger and armored zombies, which I believe are all the way up here, which is like the most inconvenient place for them to be. You have to go through the cave, over here, into the dungeon, underground. I don't really know, but what I'm hoping is that there's a decent spot for me to just Venator bow and AFK and hopefully get the new helmet. I'm pretty sure that much like the other armored zombies, you can burst them or barrage them or whatever, and that probably would be slightly faster, but I need to go and do some stuff. I gotta eat dinner, I got a basketball game to watch, I'm just looking for something easy to do, and this seems like it would be perfect. Alright, I finally found a world and a spot for me to do this in, and I'm just now realizing that there are, in fact, ranged zombies here, which is really annoying, because I didn't bring any food. So maybe I will end up bursting these with blood magic or something, I don't know, but yeah, or just bring some food. Because this literally came out today as I'm doing it, we don't really know the drop rates on things. So I don't know the drop rate of the broken zombie axes from these guys, and I don't know the drop rate of the broken zombie helmet, which is what I'm actually after. So I have no idea how long this is going to take, but I'm getting a decent amount of kills per hour. The salve amulet stacks with the void knight stuff, so I'm sort of just shredding through these guys. So even if it is like a 1 in 1,000, it shouldn't take too long, hopefully, maybe. So it turns out that if you just aggro the ranged zombie and then stand over here, it'll just get trapped there forever. And I didn't really try this before just because there was somebody else here and I didn't want to crash them. But now that they left, this is actually a pretty good spot. And people are saying it's actually pretty decent for hard clues, of which I've already got one. But I don't think I'm going to bother with that going forward because, like I said before, it is in the middle of nowhere. And jellies are just so much closer and better. So, yeah. Oh, we're done. Let's go. Well, that was nice and quick. 192 kills. I think I was getting about 400, maybe 450 kills per hour once I've moved to my better spot. But yeah, I have no idea the drop rate. It's probably like a 1 in 500 if I had to guess. I think I just got lucky, but we'll take it. Let's go. So just like the axe, it drops in its broken state, but all you have to do is use it on an anvil. I think you need 70 smithing for this, and you get the helmet. Neat. Oh, it doesn't show its stats. Let me go get the broken helmet, or the dwarven helmet, and I'll show you the stat difference. So this is supposed to fit somewhere between the dwarven helmet and the inquisitor's helmet for crush-based melee helmets, and as you can see, it has 8 crush bonus with 2 melee strength, which my old helmet, the dwarven helmet, was 6 crush bonus with no strength. So just a slight upgrade for those times that you want some extra crush accuracy, which honestly is very, very rarely, but I guess it's nice to have, maybe? I don't know. Other than the change to dropped items in private instances in God Wars Dungeon, there really isn't anything else I care about in this update. So we are done with all that. Let's go roll a new task. Alright, here we go, do the thing, complete the task, and let's see what we're doing. I don't know if there's really any task I had in mind, but God Wars Dungeon task would be cool to take advantage of the new update, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Get 1 unique Obsidian armor drop. Okay. As far as the Obsidian armor pieces go, I've only got the helmet left, which means that I have a 1 in 2,000 chance to get it from the big guys, which is not the best odds, especially considering they have quite a bit of health and take a while to kill. So this might be a while, but fortunately, it's pretty AFK. They only attack with melee, so I can just pray melee and auto-retaliate and kill them all. So, yeah, we'll go get geared up and ready to go. But I did want to point something else out. There was recently an update to the inventory setups plugin to do exactly the thing that I've been waiting for it to be able to do, which is if I open up my setup here, you can withdraw potions straight from the inventory setups from your potion storage, which is amazing. That was the one thing I hated about it. So now I would definitely recommend buying the potion storage. I think they finally fixed all the problems with it to where it's actually become a useful thing instead of sort of a nuisance for some extra bank space. So yeah, would highly recommend now that you can do this. So originally my plan was to use a Venator bow here, but I've realized now that it's going to be bouncing to all sorts of other dudes that I don't want to aggro, so I think I'm going to have to come back here with melee. But I brought the blowpipe and the Serp Helm just to aggro them and guaranteed envenom them, and then hopefully it'll help the kills speed up a little bit. But yeah, as you saw there, I can't really use the Venator bow like I had hoped to. Hey, a shield. The more I'm doing this, the more I'm realizing there are some unfortunate things about this task. For starters, like I mentioned, it is going to be slow. I did some math and I'm getting about 110, 115 kills an hour, which means that if I go on rate, this is going to be like 19 hours, 18 hours, something like that. So that's not ideal, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not too bad for a new collection log slot for me at this stage of my account. As well, Tazars have about a 50% chance to not drop anything, so my loot tracker isn't actually tracking the amount of kills properly, so I have to actually do math based on my hit points XP to calculate how many kills I've done, which is just kind of annoying for me, but all things considered, like I said, it's pretty AFK. I just hit a bunch of them and then go and do something else, so not the worst. Disaster! Sorry, I'm eating chips. All three armor pieces have the same drop rate of 1 in 2,000, so it's fairly likely that I end up with a dupe or two along the way. So yeah, Obsidian plate body, already have it, doesn't do me any good. Why, hello and good morning to the gamers. Last night I did about 700 Tazar kills, I want to say. So we are just going to continue today. And I've got some editing to do, but fortunately this is fairly AFK, so I think I should be able to do this and edit at the same time. And we're just hoping for some good luck. Hey, another cape. I'm actually okay with the cape dupes of all things. They're worth quite a lot of money, 590k on the GE, which means that I could put them in Death's Coffer for quite a bit of cash, because otherwise I have no use for them. So it's just free Death's Coffer money. Also, I wanted to mention, if you're curious what this box is, these guys don't really have a very long wander range, which means that trying to aggro a bunch of them at a time, they'll often just de-aggro off you and start walking away. And I found that the one that spawns down here will stop walking away around this line, and the one that spawns up here will stop walking away at this line. So this is sort of just my kill box. I know that as long as I'm in this box, they won't be running away from me. So I try and pull them in here with darts and then just stand in here to AFK. Okay, well that was like immediately after the cape. Cool. Honestly, same thing with pretty much all of the Tazar drops. I said it about the capes, but they're all worth a decent amount. I mean, you can see the mall's worth 327k. Again, probably going straight into Death's Coffer. There might be a storage unit I can put this in for a clue or something, I don't remember, but yeah, we do love to see drops, just I would prefer to see the helmet, you know. As far as other drops go, there really aren't that many. They do have a chance to drop Onyx Bolt Tips, which are just a nice little bit of money that I'm collecting. They drop Tockle, which I don't really care about, but I'm picking it up just because I'm here. They drop Ensouled Tazar Heads, which actually are probably my favorite drop, simply because I want 99 prayer, and each one of these is like 1100 prayer XP, so just banking free prayer XP is always nice. And then, yeah, the Obsidian armor and weapons, which are all good for me. So, yeah, I figured I might as well cover that. There aren't that many drops, but, yeah. Oh, I forgot to turn my recorder back on, but I got another cape. Yay! And while we're here, I might as well do an update. I am at about 1,500 kills. Let me do a quick math. I'm using my hit points XP to calculate how many kills I've done, knowing that you get about 266 hit points XP per kill. That means that I have done 1,477 kills approximately, so nearing the drop rate. So this is a little slower than I anticipated, and I'm going to try and do something to speed it up a little bit. I would like to finish this sooner rather than later, so I'm going to be trying to barrage them. Still going to be killing the same 5 that I've been killing, because it's not really possible to aggro more than 5 of these guys. And because I have magic, I can just bring blood barrages, so when I do accidentally hit the mages, I can just blood barrage to heal the damage that they're doing. And because of the long respawn time, I'm just going to kill all 5 of them and then hop worlds. I think that'll be the fastest kills per hour, and we'll see how this goes. No! The plate legs? No. Well, there is both dupes now. 2 plate legs, 2 plate bodies. Please, Gabe, just give me the helmet. So I can't really use what I was doing before to determine how many kills I've done. Because, as you can see, I'm getting a lot of unintentional collateral damage going on here with the zills and the medges and the hers and everything. And in fact, I'm even intentionally aggroing some of the zills, just because I might as well. I mean, barrage hits 9 targets, might as well get them in there for some extra chances at some capes. But the problem with that is, I can no longer use my hit points XP to determine how dry I am on this, because I'm getting so much more just from the other things. So instead, I'm just going to use the loot tracker, and I'm going to assume that about half the time, according to the wiki, the 221 kets drop nothing, and so I'm just going to multiply whatever my loot tracker says times 2, and that's approximately how many kills I've done, and it says currently that I'm at 1,087 kills, so I believe I am now over the drop rate, but again, this is some pretty rough math, so I don't really know, and it doesn't really matter, because I'm just going to have to continue either way. Let's go! It's the thing! I didn't even... yes! Let's go! My brain, like, read the words, and I was like, Obsidian helmet? What the heck is that? And then I was like, wait, that's the thing that I've been trying to get. Let's go! Well, all things considered, not too bad. Again, 1 of each dupe, but that's fine. My end kill count is somewhere around 2,230, but it's probably a little bit more than that. But who really cares? I will take it. And not to mention, I got 7 capes, 4 shields, 1 maul, and a bunch of tackle to go with it. Some onyx bolt tips and everything. I can't really complain. It gave me some time to AFK while I was editing, and then I could try hard a little bit with the barrages. And I've only got the staff left, and I am not looking forward to that one. And like I mentioned before, this will be a nice little increase in Death's Coffer, 8.5 mil worth of stuff. Not that I'm really running out, I still have 35 mil in there, but I don't really have any use for this stuff anyway, so might as well. Anytime I have stuff like this, where the alch value is significantly lower than the grand exchange value, I just throw it in Death's Coffer. Now, if the alch value is actually worth it, I'll just alch it. Just because, even though I do have 215 mil, I do like building up the coin stack. You never know when you're going to need to buy, like, hundreds of thousands of death runes or something, and you'll go bankrupt. But, like, stuff like this, where it's, like, worth a mil on the GE, but only a 50k alch, just so much more value to throw in Death's Coffer. And, like I said, I have no use for it, so, yeah, 44 mil in Death's Coffer now. Not going to run out there anytime soon either. And, we can move on, which I have a plan. I've said previously that I'd like to try and include a little bit of work towards maxing each episode, and I feel like this is fairly appropriate because we did just get a bunch of ensouled heads. I'm going to go do some prayer training. With the ensouled heads that I have to use here, that's like 150k XP, and then I believe I have about 300k XP worth of dragon bones, so I should be able to get like 450k XP, which will be halfway to another prayer level. Obviously, that isn't actually getting me a level, but I feel like I said, it just feels like the right time to do it because I just got all those ensouled heads. So I'm going to go do a little bit of prayer training. And actually, I'll get slightly more XP than that because I wasn't factoring in any Zealot Robe procs. which I didn't actually know this, but apparently the Zealot robes actually work on ensouled heads. It just has a chance to save the head, which is kind of cool. But then it also works on the bone shards, which I'll be doing for the dragon bones. So I'll actually end up getting like 5% more XP than I thought. Getting a Zealot robe proc on any given ensouled head already feels great, but the dragon heads especially, oh baby, those feel good. Just a 5% chance to get an extra 1500 prayer XP, and I got 3 of them in 11 heads. That felt great. I am going to be using my dragon bones here at the Varlamore prayer training method. Personally, I just like it more than the Chaos Temple, even though you can get more XP per bone at the Chaos Temple. If you die even once, then it kind of ruins it. And I like to be able to use my full Zealot robes, and I just like it because it's a lot easier. So I am going to be doing this. It does mean I have to crush all of my bones manually, and get the wines, and get the Sunfire Splinters, which I don't think I have any of, because I used all of them to bless my quiver, but I think it's worth it in the end. Not to mention, I did already have 10,000 bone shards to add to the pile, so I would have had to come here to use them anyway. I don't know what it is, there's just something about when you finally get to use all of your resources that you've spent time gathering. You know, all the bones that I collected, then I had to get the shards, I had to crush them, I had to bless the wines, and you finally get to actually use them, just seeing those XP drops. 600 XP per tick, it just makes it all worth it. Alright, and that is gonna do it for the prayer training. I ended up getting a 556,000 prayer experience, so a whole, like, 100,000 more than my math. I don't think that's just Zealot robes. I must have done math wrong, but oh well, 330k to go before level there. I don't think I have anything else left in the bank, but I'll go check. So I've come up with an idea. I've just been sitting here cooking some crom bombs while I eat dinner and think about what I want to do next. And I have decided that I do want to get a level in this video, and my plan going forward, I think, is just going to be look at all the levels that I have left and do whichever one is the fastest. And right now, according to my math, because I don't have any more supplies for prayer, smithing would be the fastest level. Smithing, you can get like 200k plus XP per hour at Giant's Foundry, so this is like less than 2 hours of smithing, so I'm just going to go and do that. Not to mention, I have a bunch of stuff to use at Giant's Foundry that I've saved from, like, Slayer and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to go get a smithing level, then we'll roll a new task, and probably try and do it this video. So I've done about a half hour of Giant's Foundry already, and I am, in fact, getting, like, 250k XP an hour, so this should take, like, no time at all. And this is what I was saying before, this is all the stuff that I've saved from Slayer. I've saved essentially, like, every single rune drop that I've gotten for a while now, because I don't really need the money. I haven't bothered alching them, and now I can use them at Giant's Foundry. And even if I run out of these, which I highly doubt it, I have a bunch of bars as well. So, yeah, we should be set for smithing for a while, and this is probably going to be what I end up doing, like, for the next few videos. I think smithing's probably going to be the fastest level, so hopefully we can get a few levels here. There isn't really any other reason to train smithing past where I'm at, according to the spreadsheet, so this is a good reason to do it. By the way, Jagex, because I know you're definitely listening to this, if you're thinking of ways that you could improve Giant's Foundry, like quality of life stuff, making an option to just deposit your whole inventory into this thing would be so nice. The fill option only works if you actually have bars. It doesn't actually work with the armor pieces, so you have to individually use each armor piece and then select how many to put in, which is all of them for me at least, and it's just sort of annoying. It'd be nice if you could just press fill and it put everything in there. And for all the completionists out there, this is going to be the last mold that I have to buy, so I'm officially done with that, and technically done with Giant's Foundry, although obviously I'm just here for XP. Okay, I've come up with a new idea for Jagex. You can tell me if you've heard this one before. Big storage unit right here that stores all the armor and stuff that you want to use for Giant's Foundry. And then you can set the ratio somewhere, and then you can just click a button and like pour it all in there, and then pour it into the next thing. Think about it. big storage unit. Well, look at me remembering to record my level for once, 93 smithing. That was actually even faster than I expected. I ended up getting like 265k XP an hour. So even the next level would only take like 3 hours, but that will be something we can do in the next video. For now, let's go roll a new task. Back on the spreadsheet, complete the Obsidian armor task, and let's see what we're doing next. Get 1 unique drop from God Wars dungeon. Honestly, perfect. I think this is actually the exact task that I wanted. For starters, I already have an Avian Seas task store that I can just swap in. 249 Avian Seas in the God Wars dungeon, because it's a Konar task, so I might actually get some Brimstone keys as well. But not only that, they recently updated God Wars dungeon, so when you use a private instance, the item despawn timer for items on the floor, it was increased significantly, which I've heard has made some very easy and very hilarious God Wars dungeon trips of just having like the entire floor filled with items, which I don't know how relevant that's going to be at Kree. You do go through a lot of food, but being able to just store all of the food drops when you have a full inventory is going to be super nice and to help extend the trip significantly. So I'm hoping that this task is actually like way easier, not to mention now I have Rigor. So there's just like everything is going right for this task so far. Now, the only problem with this task is I only have 300 black chins left. I have like 3,000 red chins, but the red chins are like significantly worse. 15 less range strength really does suck. But I guess, I don't know, I'll try them out. If it ends up being bad, I might go and hunt some more black chins, but I'll start with this and see how it goes. The other bad thing is I only actually have 1 item left from Kree, which I guess is a good thing considering I've got all the others in 162 kills, but it does mean the chance that we actually get the item we're looking for is fairly low. And in fact, that's the same for all of the God Wars dungeon bosses. I just have the Staff of the Dead left at Krill, and Zilyana, I only have the Ceradomin's Light left, again in 67 KC, which is great. But it just means that this task might end up taking a while. Even if I don't end up getting the thing from Kree, having to hunt any of the other things is also going to be pretty slow. The other option being we could go to Nex, where I'm missing everything, but yeah, that has its own problems. So for now, we're just going to go to Kree and hope for the best. Hey, a shard. Wow, minion shard. I just gotta say, that update single-handedly actually saved God Wars Dungeon. I used to sort of hate most of, if not all of the bosses in here, just because they were all annoying, you know, having to get kill count, and just the mechanics themselves are annoying. But being able to keep all your items on the ground, both extends the trips, because you can save food and bones and supplies and whatnot on the ground, but also makes it so you could actually, like, take your loot afterwards. Now, admittedly, there isn't much here that I would have missed, but just actually being able to keep your loot and have long trips is just, it's so nice. Wait, I just realized that the shard one is actually the one that I need as well. That's actually really nice. I can make another Godsword blade. Not that it really matters, I can just trade them between them, but it's just nice to have in the bank, so cool. But anyways, yeah, first trip done. It went amazingly. I ran out of both prayer pots, and I only have 10 black chins left at around the same time, so I did the math right on those, and I'm feeling a lot more confident now. I'm going to bring in way more prayer potions and hopefully have an even longer trip now that I know how good it is. Hey, another shard. Dragon Medhelm, what is this? Alright, this is going to be the last kill of the Slayer task. Unfortunately, did not get the thing, but I just cannot overstate how much better this is with the new update. Like, it's just so much more enjoyable. If you're like me and you sort of put off doing God Wars Dungeon because you just hate it, go and try it with the new private instances. It is just so much better. Couple of things to take care of before we move on. I can make that Godsword blade that I was talking about, which means that I can keep a ZGS in my bank, which doesn't really matter. The only time I ever use it is at Chambers of Xeric for Mutadiles, but it's just sort of nice to have. I don't know, I like the way it looks in the bank to have all the Godswords next to each other. So one more blade and we can make the Armadillo one as well, but yeah, that's cool. We can also go and open up 4 Brimstone keys that I got from that task. Like I said, that was a Konar task, and I don't actually think I'm going to be going back to Konar for a long time, so these might be the last Brimstone chests we open for a while, and we're still missing the 1 Dust Mystic piece, which I highly doubt we're going to get, and now we got to go get a new task. Oh yeah, I did go and look up the drop rate from a D-Med from kree'arra, and it is a 1 in 2032. Not that it really matters, but it is a little sad to get something that's almost 6 times rarer than the item you want, but oh well. Now, in terms of this task going forward, I would love more Avian Seas to be able to go back to Kree and try and get the chest plate, but technically I could also go to Krill for the Staff of the Dead, even though I don't really want to. I'll have to eventually. And I can also go to Commander Ziliana, although I cannot get a Slayer task for her. I do still need the Saradomin's Light. So I do have some options. I think I'm just going to go and start doing some Slayer. But one of the things that I wanted to do before going back to Krill was actually go back to the Tormented Demons. I don't know where they are here. I want to go back to Tormented Demons and get another Synapse and be able to make the bow. I've heard the bow is really good there and makes Krill very easy, as well as I would love to get another Burning Claw. So I think if I do get a Greater Demon Slayer task, I'll probably go and do TDs first and hopes to get one or both of those, and then we'll end up going to Krill. But let's just go and start doing some Slayer. I'll go and do some Turiel skipping and see what we get. Honestly, I think the best case scenario is if I could get a Greater Demons task, store it, go and get another Greater Demons task, then go and kill TDs till I get a Burning Claw and a Synapse, and then go and kill Krill and get the Staff of the Dead. Now, the chances of all those things happening are slim to none, but that would be ideal for me. So, about an hour after talking about my grand plan to go and kill TDs and Krill and everything, I did end up getting an Avian Seas task, except that I actually ended up getting 2 Avian Seas tasks. So I have 451 Avian Seas to go and kill at Krill, but I really want to go and kill some Tormented Demons. After kind of coming up with that potential plan, it kind of stuck in my head, so I'm going to go and kill Tormented Demons for the rest of the video. I only have a few more hours to record before I have to end this video and start the next one, so I'm going to go kill Tormented Demons off task, which hopefully that goes okay. Hopefully, maybe potentially get either or both of a Synapse or a Burning Claw. Both would be super useful for me, and then it will start in the next video back at Kree. I got a bunch of really nice upgrades since the last time I did Tormented Demons. Most notably, I have an Ember Light, I have a Rancor, I have Rigor. Although I'm not on a Slayer task, I think this should be totally fine. I remember when they first introduced Tormented Demons in the game, and people's reactions were a little bit mixed. The mechanics of the fight was a little bit off, and the drop table is weird. Then they made some changes to both of those things, and people were a little bit happier, but they were still annoyed at other things. And then it just sort of died off. I don't really remember what happened to the conversation around them. Going back to Tormented Demons now, I love these things. Maybe it's weird, but like, they're like demonic gorillas, but actually fun. I don't know how to describe it, but if you haven't done TDs in a while, I'd recommend going back and trying them. They're actually really fun. And this is where I do the YouTuber thing of saying, maybe you could leave me a comment and tell me your opinion of the Tormented Demons. I actually really do want to know, though. This isn't just for comment bait. And for your gamer tip of the day, most people know that after the firebomb attack, you get one guaranteed big damage hit that you want to use a slow, strong weapon for. But what a lot of people don't know is the flames on the Tormented Demon's body actually mean something. So you can see right about now, these fires are going to extinguish, and that means you actually have 100% accuracy on them for a short period of time. And then once they do their firebomb attack, they reignite themselves. So that's when you want to use your specs. I only recently learned about this, but it actually makes the trips way easier. Because I use a Sarah Godsword, it just essentially means that I'm guaranteed more health and prayer as I go on. So if you didn't know that, now you know. Let's go! Yes, dude! The absolute dream. Well, okay, maybe not. I guess technically it would have been better to get the synapse first, and then I could use it to farm the other Burning Claw. But we'll take it, dude. A new spec weapon, finally. Finally, I'm going to have access to a decent DPS spec weapon. I feel like this is one of the things that I've been missing for a long time with the account, not having Dragon Claws or a Void Waker or anything like that. I think I just have to use these two together. No cool animation, sadly, but there we go. Just looking through the wiki, there's a bunch of places it says this is either the best or one of the best spec weapons, like Alchemical Hydra, Moxliaddle, Cerberus, Grotesque Guardian, Seracnus, Tormented Demons themselves, Vardorvis, Vorkath, like lots of different places. So hopefully I will find some use for these. And honestly, it just feels good to complete those. I didn't really know when I was going to be going back to Tormented Demons, but yeah, happy I did. Burning Claws have an interesting special attack, of which there are lots of mechanics that are too complicated to go over right now, but all you really need to know is they do damage. Look at that damage. Now, obviously, I'm not potted, and if I had piety on, it'd be a bit better. And they also have a chance to burn, which also just does more damage over time, and they have increased accuracy and damage against demonic creatures, which is why they're good at TDs, although I do like the Saragod Sword. I don't know if I'm going to use these here. But yeah, good DPS spec weapon, good accuracy, a little bit extra burn damage. All in all, just a great weapon to have. And I'm very happy to be finished with those. Now, I am going to stay here for a little while longer. Got a couple more hours. Gonna try and get the synapse. Hopefully we can finish off TDs for good. No! Oh my god! It's unbelievable. It actually works. Oh my god. You ever just have one of those moments where, like, you're staring right at where you know the loot is about to appear, and, like, you just envision it, and then it just happens in front of you? I don't know how I did that, but 133 KC, and I got another Burning Claw and another Synapse. This could not have gone any better. The best part about it is, it's like 2 AM right now, and I was gonna just call it quits and go to bed, but I kind of convinced myself. I was like, if I just do one more trip, and I actually got it. I still don't really believe it, but we can make the bow. I think all I have to do is use that on there. Oh, no cool animation again, but there we go. Scorching Bow. Cool. So the Scorching Bow, not super useful in a lot of different places, but where you do use it, it's usually the best in slot weapon. It has a 30% damage and accuracy increase to demons, so things like Krill and Sire and TDs and whatnot, it is extremely strong, but I don't have the demon thing, so when I hit the training dummy, it just says 33, but it is very good. And when I do go to Krill, I can't actually use the spec on the training dummy, but the spec will bind a demon in place for 20 seconds, so you can just hit him with Krill, and then just stand there and hit the boss. You don't even have to run around anymore. So super lazy Krill kills sounds good to me. And yeah, I'm essentially done with Tormented Demons. I don't think I'm going to go back there. I don't really care about the Purging Staff. 530 KC for both things, or two of both things, that is incredible. But yeah, that's going to have to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button and check if you're subscribed. Maybe leave me a comment while you're down there, as those are the best ways to help my videos with the YouTube algorithm. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. And I want to give a big thank you to all of my channel members, but a special thank you to my Tier 3 Big Spoon channel members: Alchemist BTW, Jack Staumer, Zach Martin, Luxitaire, Tony Adkins, Dolph, Fading Shadow, Mondeep Bassi, and Frank Chandler. And if you want to see your name here in the credits for the rest of the season, consider becoming a channel member. The lowest tier is only $2 a month, and it really helps me out. Thank you.